Good morning to my LinkedIn family. Today, I'm meeting with the great Kevin. You guys all know and love him, I'm sure. And if you're not following him, you got to make sure that you do follow him and connect with him. Kevin Turner is probably one of the most prolific LinkedIn experts out there today. I enjoy all of his posts a great deal, and he always offers very helpful and outstanding advice. Talking you up big here, Kevin, because I like your stuff, and he always likes me back, so I'm good
Well,
with
good
that. So
morning. Good morning, Bob. I appreciate
hey,
sharing a little coffee with you digitally. Uh, the world's a little different. But what's interesting is for me, it's not that different. I've been home officing now for about 10 years and used to be the other side. I was a road warrior. So I was on the road 80% of my time all over the world, traveling one weekend home a month. Now it's the other way around. And I've been doing that for about 10 years. And I've learned a lot of things in the process. And, one of those is you've got to communicate. And that's something that you do extremely well. You invite your community in, you support them, you get everybody talking. And that's critical right now because people are feeling isolated. And, it's one of those things that I learned early on is to make those connectivities. And I think the fact that we can do video conferencing as easy as we can now is incredible.
yeah, it's very cool. I mean, it's a great way to stay connected. So tell us about a little bit about what you're doing, Kevin, and the initiatives that you have going on.
Well, absolutely. And a little of that came from, I had a turning point in my career. I was running the American Heart Association International Division, was actually doing business in 140 countries and had directors all over the world. And that was when I was traveling like crazy. And it got to a point where I couldn't do that kind of work anymore. One of the things during that process, I was giving back to the community by doing lectures basically for job seekers in transition on LinkedIn. And that was 10 years ago. I've
Wow.
been on LinkedIn since 2005. I actually got my certificate that said I was one of the first million people to join.
Very
And,
cool.
I don't know if I would know as much now if I hadn't started when LinkedIn was so basic. So I got trickle fed everything. And I look at LinkedIn probably a little differently than most. But that's kind of where my life changed. I was doing that as kind of a give back, maybe a solo, kind of side gig, and it started to turn into business. And I made a decision. I'm getting off this international road, and I'm going to spend more time with my family, and I'm going to basically create a different me. And a lot of people are in that today. I think, deciding is, do I go back to the office? Do I create my own business? How does that look for the future? And, those kind of thoughts, I guess, are going through everybody's mind. But that's what transitioned me. And I started a business with my wife, who is a 30-year freelance writer. And we got involved in both organizational branding and personal branding. And one of our components of the business that has taken off is doing LinkedIn optimization profiles, maximizing that from a technology point of view, as well as communication standards kind of point of view. And we do resumes and bios and websites for organizations, all sorts of processes in there. And we also do executive coaching, career coaching, life coaching, right? Changing your life. What do you do? What do you really want to do? What are you going to do when you grow up? Those are the kind of things we love to do. We always say we're a compassionate business. We are a business. We do enjoy what we do, and it makes the work week a little easier because sometimes you just have those long weeks, but when you're helping people, it is all so much better. And so that's kind of, I guess, what we do in a nutshell.
That's awesome. That's incredible. And I think even now more than ever, I think people are starting to look inwardly, right? Amidst this isolation, amidst being away from the hustle and the bustle of the office, and they're starting to take stock in what they own internally, their skill sets and what they have to offer the communities out there. And maybe they're taking stock in what they can do and how they can leverage that moving forward into the future. Because let's face it, our economy, with another 6.6 million jobs lost today, I think was the most recent number. all those folks have to figure out something else to do while waiting for their jobs to come back potentially.
Yeah. And I hope they're doing that. I hope they're not waiting. I hope they are discovering, right? Using their time. If they're going to go back and do what they used to do, because that opportunity will be there, I think, for the most part.
Yep.
If they're doing that, they should be focusing this time on upskilling, right? How do I get to the next level? And reevaluating. So hopefully they're doing that. One of the greatest opportunities, I think, right now, if you haven't taken advantage of it, is get a free premium account with LinkedIn. So if you've never had a premium account there, go in there. They'll offer you a 30-day premium for free. And from there, go into the learning section and start learning. Start getting the certificates, adding them to your LinkedIn profile. Start building that as part of your brand, right? Your value offer. So if you've got this target of where you want to go next, use that system. It's free. It's all you can eat. And it's actually a really good training program. But again, when things are tough and budgets are tight, that's a great opportunity right there. There's also other organizations that are giving away a lot of that kind of online learning right now to help. And, that's another kind of avenue. What I like about the LinkedIn piece is, again, you can get right in there and you can add it right into the profile and build it as part of your brand. So I think that's, worst case, that's what people should be doing right now, is kind of figuring out how they need to get to the next level and what that looks like. And, spend this time, I guess, appropriately, right?
Yeah.
It can be difficult to do. I know, and I talk to a lot of people who are doing kind of absolutely nothing in one sense. They're doing all the family things, which is great. They're, binge watching a lot of shows, right? Catching up on some reading and all that kind of stuff. And before they know it, this time that we're in right now is going to be gone.
Right.
And they're going to look back and say, what happened? What did I learn? What changed? So I encourage people to go out there and kind of figure out what things you can do to make yourself better, to make yourself more valuable, or even to relax yourself. If you want to learn to play guitar, go do it. You can do that online now, right? If you want to pick up a new language, you can do that. And again, if you just want to kind of hone in on some of your skills, and maybe that's going through all the coursework that they have to offer on each one of these different video platforms right now. Because, sometimes somebody will call me on Zoom. Somebody will, you've got Ring Central, I think. I use Skype a lot and have for many years, Skype Multiplex. If you know them all, you have less of a tendency to have issues when we connect. And we had a small one, I think, at the beginning where we had to work through the audio. And it was probably my side where I had everything locked down here. I'm a big security person in that sense.
Yeah. That's great advice. Great advice. So I want to encourage everyone that watches this today to make sure, and I'll make sure I'll tag you in the post, Kevin, that you hook up with Kevin. If you can't connect with him, then definitely follow him, because he gives this type of advice that he just gave everybody right now is something that he does almost on a daily basis. In fact, several times a day. He offers gold. So I want to encourage everyone listening today, watching today, to start reaching for new heights. Get out there and start pushing yourself forward. Follow Kevin, follow me, please, and we'll go from there. Kevin, thank you again for joining me and having a cup of coffee with me. I truly enjoyed this conversation.
Fantastic. I appreciate it, and have a great week. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.